Oh yes, it's time for another RimWorld Long-Play. Well, I say long play, but I really don't know. This could be a very, very short play. Because today I'm going to play a Raised by Wolves scenario that I invented myself. I'm sure there have been hundreds, if not thousands, of other people out there that have done a, quote, Raised by Wolves, end quote, scenario, but this is mine, so. And it's gonna be really hard, so I might not last very long, and that's gonna be part of the fun of this, to see how long I can last. This could be one video, this could be 30. I hope it's about 6. That's kind of where I'm hoping this goes. I'd like to play for a while and then not play anymore. So, I'm not going to go through a whole thing of the mods. I've got a bunch of mods going, mostly centered around tribal starts. I've got a lot of stuff to like remove my researching and to give different options for tribal playthroughs without much technology. So I'll try to either throw a link down with the full list, or I will possibly talk about mods as I encounter them. That's kind of the way I like to do it. So some of the main ones you'll notice is no water, no life, so we'll have to keep track of our water intake. Rim cuisine, which adds much more food and recipes. And then some tribal planet start stuff from oh, I can't remember his name. It's y'all know him. He's a mod author that does a bunch of cool stuff. I said I wasn't gonna go in here, but here we are. Like wild cultivation, rainbow flambe. That's what it is. Like his wild cultivation, he's got his I don't know. Just some stuff, okay? Tribal raiders. There we go. Stuff like that. So, anyway, let's get going. We're going to start naked and with no research and just a wolf companion. A little bit of berries and bird meat that we've scavenged in the jungle. We're going to play on Randy Savage. Because we're macho men. Huh? You know, this is literally probably the 150th time I've started a new RimWorld playthrough, and I have never noticed before Randy Savage. That's very funny to me. Yeah. So that macho man, that was right off the cuff. So I am so clever. We're gonna go 60% world, and I want this to be a jungle planet. Oh man. Entrails. That sounds good. Because part of the scenario is also, I've kind of forced some traits at 75% likelihood, where we'll be either like cannibals or have bloodlust, nudists, ascetics, stuff like that. Things that you would expect from a Tarzan or Mowgli character raised in the jungle without any interaction with other humans. So, since we are doing the no water, no life mod, it is mandatory we start on a river. Kind of like the big rivers, but a regular river, that's fine. Mountainous river? I don't know if we need mountainous. We got large hills around here. That's a small hills. I'll take just a second here to check this out, because I really want to get... If I can get a large river, large hills, that would be great. Huge river, mountainous, that might be too much. Large river, mountainous. Man, I really should be using that mod that lets you choose or finds specific things for you. I think it's called Land Carefully, but I'm not, so it's moot. This is stupid that I'm taking this much time. I really don't need to be doing that. Just how I am. Why am I like this? Why am I like this, people? Large hills, huge river. That's exactly what I want. Another thing to keep in mind, disease frequency is going to be pretty high. We're going to get diseases, and we're living alone. So it's going to be very, very hard. So like I said, I've done a couple test runs with this setup, and I have died like within the first half hour several times. And then, you know, sometimes I make it like forever. So it's up in the air. We'll find out how we do here. I have given myself the opportunity to choose between 10 people. Because I do not reroll. Usually I like to just take what's here. But I wanted to give myself lots of choices, so. Kind of what I'm looking for is I want to make sure that the plants is decent, not because we're going to be growing much, but because we're going to be cutting down a lot of trees and harvesting plants. Animals, of course, will want that to be up because we're going to depend on our animal friends a lot. And then I need just a general amount of crafting and construction just so I can get that stuff done quickly, not because I need it to be super high quality, but just for speed's sake. Mining, we don't care about at all. We're going to force in a childhood here. That's another thing. We're all like 19 years old, so we only have our childhood. Because in one of the mods, More Traits mod, I've got a Raised by Wolves childhood backstory. So that gives us a bunch of melee attack, and it takes away a bunch of social, which is very reasonable and realistic. So I like that one. So I'm not going to worry too much about fighting skills, because I know that's going to take that over. And I kind of want to be a little realistic with, like, not being good at intellectuals or medical kind of stuff, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hoffman actually looks like might be a winner right off the bat. No health issues. He's a cannibal. He's a heat lover. He's got bloodlust. I like it. Gourmand, cooking +4. Whatever. Hunger rate multiplier +50%. That's a little bit sucky, because this is going to be a very low food environment. We're going to be struggling for food, so Gourmand might make it a little more difficult, but we'll see. Just want to jump around here real quick and take a look. Now, there is something I want to note. Oh, he wasn't an animal lover. Never mind. I have noticed some sort of weird thing with the animal lover trait, where it's not accurately adding the +4 here until I go into prepare carefully and kind of toy with it. So it's weird. I don't know. It's some sort of mod conflict probably, or maybe it's a bug in that mod. So we'll see. I don't know, but I know how to fix it, so that's the good news. So sometimes what we see on our animals isn't actually what we're going to end up with. Yeah, about that. Like right here, animal lover is supposed to be giving +4, and we're at a 2, so clearly that perk is not, or that trait's not hitting correctly there. And there's nothing here that's taking away animals, so I don't think. No. Yeah, so I don't know. It's a weird thing that I've just noticed the last couple days playing around with this start. So otherwise, no, I don't like that. The only thing I'm thinking is, like, this dude looks like he was raised by wolves. That could work right there, actually. Super immune. That would be huge for a jungle start. That might be enough for me, honestly. Animal lover, cannibal, heat lover, bloodlust. These are all things that are going to help a lot. The heat lover's huge because it's always too hot in the jungle. Construction will be a little bit of an issue. That's no big deal. Yeah. Alright, Sophie. It's Sophie and her wolf. I am going to jump in here because I want to make sure animals... See, watch this. Just jumps right up to 4. Now it erased that one random point it had put in there, so I'll move it back to 5, but I don't know what the deal with that is. Why it does that. It changes things. It's weird. I don't know. So, here's what I was talking about. I've got a whole bunch of extra backstories. Ooh, Wild Child. I never even looked at this one. But that's not the one I want. I want Wolfpack member. That gives me a bunch of melee. Yeah, just using my claws and teeth. Like a wolf person. And that moved my medical way down, which is a lot more reasonable for the start. And we got a little fire on plants, that's fine. There's not nearly enough fires for my taste, but everything else is looking good, so... She's got some wild hair. That's great. I like it. Let's do it. Let's go here. One of the main problems with this start is getting clothes. Because it's like 5 steps in order to do that. Because first we have to have enough food to, sit around making weapons so we can go hunting. Then we have to get enough, and then we have to sit around crafting, because we're not good at crafting. All the time, while we have to be getting water and cooking the water so we don't get food poisoning. It's a lot. There's a lot going on. The early game of this is very, very difficult, and you have to be really efficient with your actions, or else stuff goes bad fast. Alright, we were raised in the jungle by wolves, but now the pack has moved on to other hunting grounds, leaving you behind. Only your closest wolf friend has remained at your side. It's time to start a new life, surviving on our own. Let's see who Kino is our wolf friend. Oh, what a cute giant dire wolf named Kino. Alright, let's take a look here. We got our, some bird meat and some water and some berries that we're starting with. That's just the stuff that we've scavenged on our last hunt. So, ooh, yeah, see, I like these big rivers. And they cut through like little mountain hill rocks formations. Those are fun. This is kind of interesting down here. We even have a couple buildings to start with. Let's see, we're in 6 of April. So it's already 95 degrees at 6 a.m., so that tells you how hot it's going to get. Why getting some clothes that block the sun out is really important early. Plus, unless you're a nudist, Sophie's going to be pissed off about being naked. So, yeah, we definitely want to be set up by the river because we have to drink water constantly. I mean, it adds so much more to the game. Constantly keeping your water meter full and making sure you don't get food poisoning from having bad water. So basically, it's like you have to cook twice. Just a lot of extra work, especially when you're all by your lonesome. But I feel like this little cove right in here is a fun place to start. We can just leave this wide open. If people want to attack us this direction, that's fine. They gotta move slowly through this huge open space. And probably the same this way, and we can kind of block off this side. Feel protected. Should have plenty of, yeah, this is all buildable ground except for this little patch right here is marshy soil. That's kind of annoying, but it's not the biggest deal. In fact, we just box it in and use that as a warehouse because the ground doesn't need to really be changed for that. Got some coal here. This is added by a mod. I can use this to fuel fires and torches, which is kind of nice. If I ever get my colony to the point where I can send Sophie off to mine, which in my experience is not very often. If we get desperate for a little bit of steel, there's some right there, so that's nice. We'll have a couple buildings to start off with. One thing with this, we start off with no research, and our research level is Neolithic, so even getting the smallest research thing you can think of takes weeks. You might as well not even... I'm not going to have any research ever done. So that includes basic cooking. That includes growing anything other than potatoes. Yeah, we'll never have coolers. We'll never have any form of electricity whatsoever. Unless we get a bunch of people to join our colony and we build up faster that way. So, which sometimes can happen. Randy doesn't seem to do it the same way that Cassandra, and mostly Cassandra does. So we'll see. We'll see if he throws some stuff our way. But yeah, okay. I guess I've probably rambled enough. That's also a sort of interesting area, but I just like the aesthetic look of this area. So we're going to do it here. We're going to... yeah. We're going to do exactly what I said. We're going to put a stockpile over this junk. That can just be everything except for chunks. Actually, I mean, while I'm here, I do this. I like my main stockpile to be on low so I can add specialty stockpiles other places. I don't need anything rotten there, so. Alright, there's that. Flax I can harvest as like a cloth alternative. But that amount won't let me do anything. Although I might be able to make a sling out of the amount I get out of that. So that's an early ranged weapon we can play around with. Got wild corn. We do have wild cultivation going, so there's stuff like this will pop up here and there. Wild devil strand, that's interesting too. Oh, there's several devil strands about here. So that might actually be something we can, in a few days, actually make something out of that. There's actually enough. We are in the jungle, so there'll be lots and lots of animals around, so we'll mostly be thinking about killing animals to get their skin to make clothes and stuff like that. But flax and devil strand occurring naturally is kind of a fun thing that we can add to our pool of textiles that way. Don't have a whole lot of wood right here that's ready to go, but I guess that's fine. We'll probably start off like down here anyway and then kind of move up north. So yeah, let's just get a move on here. Sophie, you can go collect that stuff. What did your needs start off? Okay, so consume a berry, drink a water, then prioritize hauling all this stuff. While you're doing that, I'll set up your work tab and stuff. In Stiff, we don't need to worry about warding or negotiation at all right now. I'm going to do all my hunting manually. We'll do fishing, but not yet. I won't worry about growing right at the moment. I'll come back to this stuff and add it in later. So what I want you to do when you wake up in the morning is I want you to draw water, and I want you to cook that water. And then I want you to work with Kino. And then, yeah, that should be good. Whenever I put something down for you to construct, that's the very first thing you'll do, however. And if you run out of things to construct, you'll have to go plant cut. So that's the order I want it in for now. Then you can haul and clean if you really run out of stuff, but you won't run out of stuff. Okay. Oh man, you're gonna go all the way around that way, huh? I guess that makes sense. Yeah. I might already have... This is dumb, isn't it? Well, do your thing. I guess you only have 2 more things to grab. I'll start looking at wood for you to cut. That's ready to harvest. When you're done hauling your berries, you can come cut that tree. Then you can cut that tree. So we've got some more tribal low technology type of things. So these are wooden walls. They're only 2 wood instead of 5, but they only have 65 hit points instead of 220 or whatever. So they break like really, really easily. You know what? Well, you already put it there, so that's fine. Never mind. We'll get a little sleeping spot for you and the puppers. Yeah, you're cleaning already. Okay, so what I want you to do, let's harvest all of the really helpful things that are ready to go around here. We'll leave that grown. Don't need that right now. Wheat we can only really use for kibble and stuff like that. We can't just make meals out of it, so we won't harvest any of that right now. 74%, why not? And I know I can like zoom out and highlight and be like, oh, just, you know, harvest everything, but I don't want to do that. So I like to get in there and decide. But I am probably going to have to just chop a bunch of these trees down. So I'm thinking, yeah, we'll probably eventually make a wall all the way across here. I don't know. Maybe we won't. Maybe we won't even bother getting to that point in the game. Honestly. Might not be worth it. Well, let's get some trees going. We want a big backlog of wood for you to chop down. Backlog? You know what I'm saying? Everybody? Logs are part of trees. Okay, so there we've set a few high yield trees for you to cut, and after you do that, then we'll just chop down everything else. I just want to get like a good amount of good stuff first. All right, do it. So, okay, so we've got our shelter figured out. We've got a little bit of food. We need some more. We're getting our supplies, which is wood at this point, and really all that we need is wood at the moment. Ooh, I didn't even see this. Some wild rice. We can harvest that up. 80%. We'll let that grow a little bit longer since we still have food right now. Oh yeah, I probably should set up your restrictions, because this is not how I want you to do it on day 1. So this is the new setup I've got. I have them sleeping from midnight to 6 a.m. and then I give them 2 hours of anything. So if they need to sleep in, they can. They usually do. But then if they don't need the rest, they can just get up early. So I give them 10 hours of work, separated by 3 hours of recreation in the middle of the day when the sun's the hottest. And then they usually keep working into the evening on these last 2 hours. But if they need a little extra recreation or if they need a little extra sleep, they have their choice there. So this seems to be working out fairly well. So, okay. Now you're just hauling wood, so that's not very efficient. That's not what we want. What we want to do instead of that is we want you to craft. Yeah, I guess for now I'll just put it right there. That's a stupid spot. I guess for right now I'll put it right here. I don't know why I care. I'm probably going to move all this stuff anyway. But let's get right into... Let's see, this sling requires 10 ingredients, and we have 11 cloth, so let's do that. Let's make a sling. We'll need a melee weapon. I've got a bunch of weapon mods that add a bunch of like tribal weapons and lower technology kind of stuff. Primitive knife. I don't think we can use wood for that though, so we'd have to have some stones or something, which we don't have. In fact, I don't think you can make any knives now with wood. You used to be able to, but I don't know if I have a mod that's changing that or if it just 1.0 just changed that. But I know there used to be wood knives. Or maybe there wasn't. Maybe there was a different mod back that I used to use that made wood knives. But so I guess club is what we'll go with. Blowgun, 30 wood. Well, we're doing sling right now, so... I have an idea. Okay, I kind of do want to make a blowgun. So, okay, so desert robe and desert head wrap are going to be things we need very early so we don't get overheated. Heat stroke. I guess we can make fans to help. Yeah, maximum 18 degrees. That's something that I need to think about. What kind of ingredients can we use? All sorts of stuff. We only have cloth right now. Can I use double strand? I can. And I only need 5? Well, let's do that. 'Cause that'll keep us from dying in the meantime. We'll make that the first thing we do. And let's find one of these double strands that was fully grown, wasn't there? I guess not. 77% though, I bet that's enough to do right now. So what are you doing right now? You're hauling wood? Stop that and come do this. Let's see what that gives us. Well, okay, drop it so I can see how much it is. 4, of course. Well, do this one too. I know you've got your own ideas of how you want to do things. 7, okay, that's plenty. So the fan will help. We'll have... did I find a melee weapon besides a club that I could use right away? I probably can't use these. Oh, I don't even have crafting 6. I can't make this at all. Which makes sense. Oh, don't anywhere near that. Or if I can use a walking cane and some melee. Yep, 3.46. But that's not any better than just having a piece of wood in my hand. So we'll stick to club for now. Unless there's something I want to deconstruct. But I would have to deconstruct a lot to make it worth it. But I do want to deconstruct one of these anyway, because there's just a free room for us to use for something. I probably should be using it for all this stuff. Instead, I've got her walking all the way up here to this open area, which is just stupid. I don't always make good decisions, but the problem is I made that decision early on, and I don't want to change now. Can you please highlight so I can see you? Okay, thank you. Yeah. I want to do this. This is our storeroom. I know I don't need that there, but there will bother me otherwise. Little wood shelter door. Nothing should bother us attacking that up here, so it can be this really weak wood, which is fine. And it's kind of thematically accurate that, like, this is the best kind of wall that this raised by wolves lady in the jungle could make off the get-go, so